Good morning. This is Robert Goodman here on Positive Strokes, staying clean, and I'm so happy to be a part of your recovery. Today, I want to talk to you about overcoming bad situations that happen to you. Yesterday I talked about overcoming bad relationships and dealing with that situation, and I want to do more elaborate, in depth on that. You know, once the ties have been severed and you're there by yourself, I remember those feelings. The feelings of I wish I could have did something different, or maybe it's my fault, or maybe if I did this, this wouldn't happen like that. Maybe. And what I realized in my past is that I was hoping on achieving the goal that I wanted to achieve in the first place by having a sound, solid relationship with that person. And I kept second guessing myself on my decision that I made to sever the relationship, or it was severed by their choice. And I remember how, in my active addiction, how it kept me in pain for 40 years because I felt everything that has happened to me was my fault, that I had something to do with it, that I caused the situation to develop in that manner. And I realized that that was not the case after I've been in recovery for a period of time. Recovery taught me to examine yourself, Robert, to look at yourself honestly and openly and separate your feelings and emotions from the situation. And that took time. It didn't happen overnight, but it took time. And as I learned how to do the next right thing for myself, for me to do the next right thing, I worked on myself. I finally put myself first because in the relationship, I was putting them first. I was catering to their situation. I was constantly doing for them and not doing for myself. And I realized that this was the advantage that this person had over me. So as I devoted the rest of my time on making myself better and working on myself, I realized that I was not putting myself first. I wasn't making myself important. I was hiding, trying to make them look good for the mistakes that they were making. I was trying to make them look good when they were not good to me. I tried to hide that from loved ones, family, friends, and strangers because I was ashamed of the situation that I was in. But I tried to hide it. I tried to do everything I can to help them change their behavior. But it would not work. But what recovery taught me is that, Robert, the only person that you have control over is yourself. You cannot make someone do the right thing. They have to find their own way. And I understood that because it took me 40 years to find recovery. I had to give up my way of thinking and try something new. And here I am. I had to try something new. So I started dealing with Robert, working on myself, feeling proud of myself, of my accomplishments that I've made after this bad situation or bad relationship. And I built myself up. I started to have pride for myself. I started to stand up for myself. And what happened was I started to shine. People was recognizing me. I was standing by my word and my actions. People wanted to be around me. And the interesting thing is that the people that knew I was in this type of relationship that had just ended, when I stood on my own, these people came to me and said, we understand. We was just waiting for you to see the light. And I had a group of people that cared about me, that honestly cared about me. And then when I look back on the situation is that I was trying to mix water and oil, or mix the relationship to make it work, but they were oil and I was water. And no matter how many times I tried to work to make it better, when things calmed down, the oil will separate from the water and new issues would start up. And basically, it was the same thing. The same type of issues over and over and over again. When I realized that I took myself through this trip, I started to protect myself from it ever happening again. So I was on a road by myself, dealing with life on life's terms, enjoying the company of myself. I learned how to enjoy being by myself. And then, out of the blue, here comes my wife. And as I built myself up in such a way to be honest and open, and didn't care about what people thought about me, but I was being the true Robert, the one I enjoyed being, the one I always wanted to be, I stood out and I stood for what I believed in and the person that I was. And it attracted the woman I'm with today. So the point that I'm trying to express this morning is that when we let go of something that we held on that was giving us pain over and over again and over again, expecting different results, and the same thing happens over again, and the manipulation and the con and all that, when I finally got myself up out of that situation, I could see, honestly and openly, the part I played in it and also the part they played in it, which gave me an understanding of who I was and what I wanted out of that situation. And it wasn't going to happen. So I began to have pride about leaving that situation and embarking on a new way of living, a way that I enjoyed, that the things that I believed in and I stood for, and I stood strongly on these things. And my life got better. So when I embarked on this new relationship with my wife that I am with now, understand that I stood on who I was and I was honest and open. But the interesting thing is that the wreckage of my past carried into the new relationship. Why? Because I was getting treated like I was supposed to. I was being treated with respect and love. This was something, and it was genuine, but I wasn't getting that from the past. So this is something new, which made me nervous about the situation because it was so right. And then I realized that, Robert, you have never been in this type of situation in your entire life. Someone to be honest and open and honestly care about your welfare and who you are and want you to succeed in the things that you want to do. Nobody supported you in your life like that, which made me very nervous and afraid because my feelings and emotions was getting locked in. And the first thing, I hope the same thing doesn't happen again. I'm worried about going through the emotional and mental pain, thinking that these things, bad things may happen. But this is the after effect of the bad relationship. And recovery taught me that I must let that go. I must let those feelings go because it has nothing to do with the present relationship. The thing is that the reason why it feels that way is the fact that you're entering in a new relationship and the heart is involved deeply. And automatically, security, your mental security pops up in your head, and it gives you all these flashes of the past things that has happened to you in a relationship, which makes you leery and concerned about falling victim to the same type of thing that happened in your past. But you got to understand that your mind is like a computer. All the information in your life is stored up in your brain. And when you come to situations that match or look favored to the same type of situation, then your mind is going to access these memories and these feelings and emotions. And you must understand that that was the mistakes and the pain of the past. It has nothing to do with your present situation. And that takes time. It takes time. To move forward, it takes time to build a sound, solid relationship with a new relationship. It takes time. You're not the only one that has to go through that. Your partner has to go through that too. Because they've had some situations in their past relationships that they had to face and deal with that hurt. So as they enter into this new relationship, they have the same type of feelings of insecurity and nervous about getting hurt. So they get defensive. You get defensive. And then both of you are in a defensive mode with the situation. But as time goes on, if you stay still and just keep doing the next right thing in the relationship, that feeling will disappear and the connection will grow stronger. Why? Because you're dealing with your own feelings and emotions, and you're learning how to readjust, realign yourself in the right way so you continue living your best life, so you can enjoy the life that you've worked for. And it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. But in recovery, if you just keep doing the next right thing, stay focused, stay where you're at, and don't change, and keep doing the next right thing, things will get better. The relationship will get greater, and you will grow closer together. Sometimes it takes time before you meet that special someone or that person in your life that you want to be a part of your life. And you see everybody else having what you want. You can't judge yourself by other people's relationships. I did that, which caused me undue pain for a very long time. I cried so many times. Look at them. Why me? Why can't I have that? Why can't I have that connection? Why? And the tears would run down my eyes because I was comparing myself with what somebody else had. But recovery taught me that I must learn how to live life on life's terms. That means I must be good with Roberts. I must be good where I'm at in my life. I must be good by myself. And when I do come across someone that can be a part of my life that I think that would be good for me, and we work towards that goal, then I can express my heart and my mind fully to that person. I don't know when it's going to happen. I didn't know when my wife was going to appear. She came out of the blue. And the funny thing, she came from Facebook dating, where there's a lot of crazy people and people that think all kinds of ways of life that's on Facebook dating. You have some crazies, you have some good people, you have some all kinds of people. And the guys on my job put my profile on there because they felt I should have somebody in my life. And she read my profile and she contacted me. And that was history. You don't know where you're going to meet that person that's going to be special to you. You don't know where they're going to come from. You don't know how you're going to get connected with that person. But if you keep the focus on yourself and make yourself better and enjoy who you are and be proud of who you are and don't let the mistakes of the past divert you from living your best life to feeling good about yourself. Yes, you made a mistake. You thought it was going to work. You've done everything that you possibly can to make this work, but it did not work. So feel good that you put the time and the effort to do the right thing to make it work, but they chose not to, and to keep using you in that manner. So you should feel good about yourself. You gave 110%, where they only gave 20%. That shows the type of caliber of a person that you are, who you are. That means that you are a dedicated person. When you take on a relationship, you're all in. You give everything about yourself into that relationship. And just because that person didn't do it doesn't mean that it was your fault. You carried yourself and dealt with a lot of pain by yourself to make it work. So be proud of the person that you are. You are a dedicated person. You're someone that stands for the relationship. You're there. No matter what they do, you're there to try to make things better, to move forward with your life and their life. But they choose to continue the same behavior that they've been conducting. So feel good about yourself that you stood tall for all this time in that relationship, trying to make it work, but they choose not to put their part of helping to make it work to make the relationship better. So now you severed the relationship is gone, now you can focus on yourself. Take a deep breath and say, I can breathe now. I can focus on me now. And you know what? The interesting thing is that a lot of people seen what you've been through, what you've experienced, the pain and the hurt that you've experienced. And as you move forward into your life, moving forward in the way you live your life and living your life on your terms, doing the best for yourself, they're going to be there to support you, to help you along the way. so you find out what's best for you in living your best life. So no matter what you've gone through, no matter how much pain you've been through in the relationship, it's over. It's over. Move forward. You know, when I said I'm not getting in a relationship, I'm not looking no more, and I focused on myself, there she was. And we're still together today. And as the time goes, we draw closer and our bond gets deeper and deeper and deeper. But we must understand this one point. Robert is imperfect. My wife is imperfect. She's going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. And once we realize that, we learn to overcome the mistakes that we make together. We don't put each other down behind the mistake. We're all imperfect. We're going to make mistakes. The mistake is not important. It's what we do after the mistake is important. We support each other. We work through it together. We stand tall together. And when we do that, we build a sound, solid relationship. And also, we understand our partner. We allow our partner to be who they are. We allow them to make the mistakes that they make. And we allow them to find their way. We offer advice. We console. We help. But for them to live their best life, to find their way, they must work on themselves and work through their own issues. Just like I have to work on my own issues. And as I work on my own issues, I become better. And when I become better, my relationship becomes better. When she works on the relationship, when she works on herself, our relationship becomes better. When we work together on our relationship, then we're coming to a mutual understanding on the things we want to do and the path that we want to go. Nobody's the boss. We're a team. And I found out being a team is way better than being the boss. Because what she's good in, I let her excel. What I'm good in, she lets me excel. And this is how our life flourish. And the things we need to work on ourselves, we work on them together. I hope the information that I shared with you makes you feel good about yourself, that a relationship should not knock you all the way down because it didn't work out. It wasn't meant for you to be in that relationship if it didn't work out. But love yourself by moving forward, by enjoying who you are and the path that you choose to go. This is Robert Goodman from Positive Strokes, Staying Clean, wishing you a great day. And remember this, only you can live your best life if you work on yourself. When you make yourself better, your life gets better. My life got better, and it's getting better because I'm working on myself. I'm not blaming anybody for the things that happen. I'm not wallowing in self-pity. I'm working on myself to be better. And my life gets better, my relationship gets better, and I'm at peace with myself. You have a great and wonderful day.